Okay, here we go. Where are we at here today? Up on this, I forget what it's called, it's on the top of the sword. Is that pommel? I don't know. Oh, here we are. Stream people. Good morning, guys. Some familiar names, some unknown names, every day. Okay, good morning. A bit curious, we had some problems with the audio at yesterday's stream. I left the camera on overnight and it seemed to have caused problems with the audio. So please give me a report. Is that still the same thing today, or is the audio now back to normal? No buzz or whatever it was that was here yesterday. If there's still a problem, then I've got to try and diagnose it further. It still sounds funny, does it? So a couple of things. Where are we? Still at the beach, using the camera mic. Well, if I unplug, if I take this mic off me and just unplug it, it becomes active as the camera mic. The mic on the camera's now what's active. Bugger this, you know? The last thing I want is technical crap problems all the time. I'm not trying to fool around with this sort of stuff. So it's much better now, is it? Okay, alright. Sorry about that. Where am I here? Okay, alright. Good. Okay, those of you who are already, who have been long-time viewers of this know this is the part I screwed up. When I pasted down the tracing, I didn't quite have enough glue up at the top here, so my thumb pressed a bit hard and ripped it off. It turned out, I looked at it this morning, went back to Jed's original drawing, and it's no big deal. The part that I missed was just this tiny curve. Is it visible here? All that I missed is this curve, so I just drew it in with pencil just now. So it's okay. It's very, very rough drawing, so so that's the part that was taken away when the paper got removed here. So it's no big deal. It's not a bunch of difficult stuff. All right, okay. Mike. Okay. Also, I see, William Francis is here today. Again, you talked. I looked through yesterday's chat after, later in the evening. I see that you were talking about a new print you've got on. Have you got an image to show us somewhere? Mention the new design you're working with Jed or something. I was eager to see this, so if you've got a link, you can send us if the thing is public, or I'd love to see the latest. The latest thing you guys have made. So. Sunday morning here in Saxa. It's in the middle of the, there was a festival here yesterday. It's what they call Torinoichi, a nearby shrine has some festival days where they give away, sell magic rakes for bringing you money and stuff like that. So there's lots of crowds in Saxa, and there was also what they call a borrowed festival here. Anybody who knows about Japanese festivals, up north in Hirosaki, there's a festival called the Nebuta Matsuri, where in the evening through the streets of the town they parade these giant colorful floats made of sort of frames with thin paper and lights inside, so they're hugely lit up illuminated floats. That's up north, up in the Tohoku region, but here in Asakusa they bring a contingent down once a year to Asakusa. They bring some of the floats. I don't know how they transport them, or maybe they just rebuild them down here somewhere. and they parade them through the streets of Asakusa, and that was on last night. We were all upstairs working, printing. Me and Kawai-san and Ishikawa-san were printing upstairs, and outside there's drums, flutes, these colorful floats going by. We're all just too busy working to get out there and look at it. And also part of it's because we've seen the same thing many times before, so it's a bit funny, stuff that I would have killed to see when I had been living back in Canada. Now it just goes by the window. We don't even get up and take a look at it, so because we see the same thing every year. Yeah. Where am I here? Tool set, yeah. Somebody's mentioning there, I know, reading back through old postings on our website or whatever about the tool set and something. And that brings up something. I've got an issue here. I'm not quite sure how to solve or how to fix. I know we had quite an active blog there. It's the Mokuhankan conversations, and everything we did used to go on there. There weren't a ton of people reading it. I'd post something and I'd get, whatever, 3, 4, 5 responses to something or nothing. But it documented what we were doing. So when now we look at what we were trying to do back then, we can see it. There's all those postings, as the person just mentioned now, about the knife project we were doing. And a guy in the shop the other day picked up one of those copies of one of the Hawaiian prints we did back in like 2006 or something. And as he was in the shop, I pulled up on the computer the old blog postings that I did when we were making it to be able to talk about it. So the blog really was useful, even if it didn't bring a ton of people, even if a ton of people didn't see it at the time. It's turned out to be really useful as an archive. And since Facebook came along, we've switched to sort of Facebook instead of the blog, and we post things on Facebook, and a bajillion people see them. It's great. They like, and sometimes they go over to the shop and buy something or whatever. So Facebook is much more useful in an instantaneous way. Stuff happens right away when we post it, and lots of people see it. But it has absolutely no value whatsoever in an archive basis. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Facebook page from 2 years ago? A Facebook post from 2 years ago? You don't. It's useless. So I screwed myself. We went for the short-term goal of getting people to look at the stuff and getting communication and social media hype and all that stuff. But going for the short-term goal totally, absolutely killed the archive value of this. And we're in what's called a long-tail business. The prints we're making now, there's the chat that we do about the prints we're making now is still useful for people decades from now. But that's gone because we put it all on Facebook. I'm not sure what to do about this. And one idea that I had was that impossible for me to do this myself. There's just no time. but hire somebody or make a deal with somebody to do this in exchange for prints or something or whatever. Give somebody a login to my blog and ask them when they have time, bit by bit by bit, just go back through Facebook, our Facebook page for the past 2 years, I guess it'll be, or something like that, and copy paste the stuff into our blog. Backdate it, put the actual same dates in our blog software so that they come up with the same date. And I'd be happy to pay somebody to do this. I don't know, what would you do, an hourly rate or something, or just pay for the job, or exchange for prints or whatever? I'm open to suggestions, and if anybody out there has sort of the inclination to mess around with this, or the time to do this, or it's bit by bit. It doesn't have to be done like this afternoon. It could be done over a period of some months, or it doesn't matter. I don't have here all the images in an easily accessible places that we upload it to Facebook, sort of, because it's ephemeral, we upload it and then forget about it. So I don't have a folder of all the images here, so you'd have to go to the Facebook thing one by one. Just, download them from the browser. That's easy to do. Then put them back up into our blog, and I'd give you a login and a password and all that kind of stuff. Make a separate blog post with the image embedded into it, So we sort of recreate bit by bit all the posts that I did for Facebook, but in a form that would be archivally accessible for readers of our blog for decades to come. Decades to come. How many decades to come? I don't have any idea. The Facebook stuff is gone. It's lost. They don't even allow Google to search it, so anything we put on Facebook is just completely, absolutely lost forever. So if anybody else is interested in this, or would like to try this, or has got some time for it, or could, make me a deal I can't refuse, or whatever, I don't know, drop me an email, and I can make a login. We could try some of this. We could maybe try a few just as an experiment to see if you wanted to do it or could do it or whatever. I suppose Facebook probably screams about copyright. They probably own the stuff now. To hell, and who cares, This part of Jed's brushing is really, really rough, When he gets to the people and the clothes or something, he's in his natural element. But when he's drawing these things, the filigrees or the objects or the robot guns or whatever it is that he draws, these tend to get a bit more, I don't know what's the word, they're messy. They're less pleasant to carve. There's not a question of smooth strokes and stuff, He does fabrics and stuff really well. It just suits the brush so well, when people draw clothing. It just suits so much. It's because that's what he studied, He's drawn all the kimonos and stuff in all those old prints over and over and over again. He really trained himself that way. But when he gets to these funny objects that don't have any predetermined shape, that's when, to me, his brush gets a little bit lost sometimes. It's over here again next week. I know there's a Tokyo Comic Con, the giant Tokyo Comic Con. Well, I say giant, it's building up. Started last year, and this year's the second year. And it seems like they're growing pretty healthy. And when he was here a few weeks ago, we did some Twitch streams together. This time, I'm not sure if there's going to be time for that. He's here, to do the show. Like coming in, whatever it is, coming in Thursday night or something, doing the show over the weekend and heading home. And he'll be at the show. He's probably going to crash out there in a hotel or in the booth or something. I don't know. So I doubt that we'll have time to do a Twitch stream together. Just if it happens, it'll be there. But if it doesn't, And then he's got to get home. He's got Christmas. He put a sale on some stuff on his own website, and he's going nuts over there. He said he's got people printing and shipping for him in America, but he's still got to be there to run his business. Busy guy. He's built an empire. It's exploding. Just everybody all over the world loves these things. Amazing achievement, amazing. There's people around the world that would die to be able to do what he's done, at his age, to be a famous artist, It's also interesting too to see the route he's chosen. Most people that sort of want to be artists and stuff, they try and do the bit about selling stuff for bajillions of dollars, and Jed has refused to do that. We've talked about it all the time, if he started to make what they'll call gallery art, get a super brand name gallery, whatever. He's already got a reputation, so they would take him for sure. And if he did, gallery art with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros at the end and stuff. But he really, really, really resists that. He wants to make stuff, that everybody's going to enjoy. Same with us, we don't put edition numbers. We don't try to make expensive stuff, Everybody else here in Japan who's making woodblock prints now, the pop culture stuff, who's copied us, those, all the different projects, the rock and roll project, the Star Wars project, all that stuff. They've all gone limited editions. They start their prices around 500 each. Just, I don't even want to talk about it, but Jed and I are determined that we'll never, ever, ever go that route. This is what I'm carving now. What do we mean? It's going to be like $25. Oh my God, how can we do that? I better check this thing before it gets just too crazy and long. Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. Facebook archive, can we do that? Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you very much for the hint. I had no idea about that. Remember, we don't have a personal page, Nate. It's Oh, this gentleman, Higu Rashi Madness is here. Finally, I tried a little bit last night to toss off an answer to him. Some of the prints, he's been sending me print images and things like that. And he sent me tons of print images. Wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prints. And I answer with like a 2-line phrase that says, prints look nice, go buy more supplies. Really helpful to you. I'm sorry, helpful not, nay? I know, to let everybody else know what's going on here, he sent me images of prints he's been making, and it's really fun. He's tried some very, very difficult stuff, mostly Japanese type work, carving fine lines and things like this. And it's really, really, it looks exactly like the stuff I did myself when I was first working, Try some difficult stuff. Some of the lines are chipped and popped, doesn't matter. Shows good taste. It's like looking at an archive of my own work from 40 years ago. And the problem, that's not a problem. The problem with it is that it's all done on, with very not so good wood and not so good paper. And I'm going to contradict myself here, because whenever people here are asking me, what should I do? How should I buy cherry wood and stuff like this? I've always said it doesn't matter. Just go and get whatever wood is in your backyard or whatever. I keep saying this again and again and again. You don't need to go and buy stuff. And I'll still stand by that for your first experiments. Whatever, use whatever wood is handy. Use copy paper, use anything. Okay, I'll stand by that. Now this gentleman has sent me these images of these 5 or 6 prints doing exactly that. Really cheap, junk, awful plywood, just normal copy paper that's around the house. So he's done what I suggested. He sent them to me, and my reaction is, go and buy some good wood. So let me just defend myself. I know I'll still stand by that, and it was a good thing to say. And my point about this, he's now made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints, and here we are. We're up and running. He's shown now that he's interested in this, that he's going to keep digging, and that when it chips and pops, it's not a deal breaker for him. He's just going to keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. So that's my point. Get to this stage, and now you've shown that you're going to be spending some time and you really want to get into this. Now it's time to go look for some wood. So I hope there's no contradiction in what I was saying. Don't let the lack of good wood be a barrier to you if you're thinking about trying this. And then if you sort of, can I say this? If you pass that test, if it turns out that you are interested and you're going to make another one and make another one and make another one, now you got to look for some stuff though, because he's being held back now by the poor quality of the wood he's been using. So unfortunately, my advice to him just ended up being, go spend money, find some wood, find some paper. So I hope there's no contradiction there. The stuff was great. The work is interesting. Whether that's your level, sir, and you'll never get any better, or whether you will progress day by day by day, bit by bit by bit, and end up doing it at a different level, I have no idea. But it looks like you're having a ton of fun. And I'm very pleased with what I see, If you're ever over here one day, of course, someone who's done work like that you sent me, you're welcome to come and sit here for a while and use the benches and chat with our girls, We can't take apprentices like that, obviously. Everybody knows that, but you're welcome to come and spend some time here now that you've shown you're that much interested in it. All right, that thing's finished, whatever it's called. Pommel, I don't know what it is, up there at the top of the sword. Where we go? What's next? Let's do this thing. What's it called? There's a name for these things. It's in cartoons. There's a name for the thing that's over a guy's head showing that he's upset and angry. I forget what it is. Anybody in the cartoon business remember? Mr. Madness, did you post the images anywhere that the chat here can see them the other day? I'm sorry, I wasn't hip to that, but could you, if you do have online images, you do, the image good, whatever. If you can post those links again here so that other people can see them. Where am I? There's something else that I learned this morning. That group of prints that Mr. Madness Mr. Madness sent the other day. There was an image in the middle of that group about the young woman sitting in the water, sitting in a bath, I guess. Are people linking to those things? Are they coming back up here? Okay, here. So one of those links, I don't remember which one. POTYA, is that the one? It was a link to a woman sitting in a bath. And when Mr. Madness sent it to me here, I was thinking, hey, I've seen that before somewhere. And I went upstairs to our workroom here, and on the wall in our workroom is a rough copy of that print, printed on just rough copy paper. And it turned out that there was a young man, young compared to me, whatever, a man here from France who spent a couple of days in the workshop. Actually, exactly the same situation as I mentioned to Mr. Madness just now. Someone who'd been trying to carve, trying to print, get better at it, made a few prints, and we said, look, come over here, spend a couple of days. And this was Fred. He spent a couple of days up here, upstairs, and that's the set of blocks he had, that woman sitting in the bath. He'd carved them. So he practiced with Sugusan, one of our young girls up here, practicing. And when he left, a couple of days later, he left her a copy of the print that he'd done, the young girl in the bath. So it's up on our wall here, upstairs. And I assumed all the way along that it was his design, that he designed it. Thought, wow, that's cool. The guy's a very nice designer, So there it is. It's been on the wall for a year or so, and I thought it was his. So the other day, in this group of prints from Mr. Madness, there's the same design. So I was thinking, whoa, who's copying who? I didn't know what's going on here, So I asked him about it in the email that I sent yesterday, and he sent back a link to the original. This has probably already been discussed and posted while I'm sitting here blabbing about it. Mr. Madness, have I done something wrong here? I don't know, whatever. I can't remember the first part. He good Hashi Madness. Can you pop a link in to the one you showed me this morning, the link in the Museum of Fine Arts, to the original of that? And this was all news to me. I had no idea that this was an old print from the Meiji era. It wasn't a woodblock print. The image that was sent to me this morning, the Museum of Fine Arts link, which is going to pop up here in a second, I think, it's a Japanese postcard from the era, and it's mechanically printed. It's a litho, whatever we'd call it, offset printing now, I guess. It's a litho postcard from, I think it was 1906 or something like this, somewhere around back there. And seeing that really made me think, oh, there's something I can do here. If it turns out that image is public domain, if the artist has been dead for more than 50 years, because that's the Japanese rule here. If that artist has been dead for more than 50 years, then that means the image is in the public domain. And maybe it's time for me here at Mokuhankan. We can make a version of that, because it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image. Simple, clean, so tasty. Okay, there we are. I forget what these things are called. Or maybe somebody's posted it into the chat. There's a name for the things in the comics over somebody's head to show frustration and anger. But I don't remember the name. Alright, that's done. What's next? Face, but I think I'd better sharpen here. The knife's not broken, but it needs a touch up. So excuse me while I mess around with the camera and settings and stuff. No, you're talking about squiggle. No, there's an actual noun for it, John. There's a name for it. People in the cartoon business have names for all these different things. And there's a... whatever. I don't think they use squiggle. I think there's an actual name for it. This won't need much this morning. It's not, the thing isn't broken. It's just I've got to what's the word? Touch up the edge. That might be it, just do a bit on the back. These stones take away so much metal so quickly, and my knife is so small that sharpening, literally, it's just, as you see, it's a few seconds work usually, unless the tip is, snapped off and you've got to work back till it's this right shape again. I struggled so much with sharpening. Oh my God, back in Canada, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the right stone, didn't know what to do. So I just hacked away with dull knives. It was just awful. My dad did that too. He was like a home carpenter. He had a workbench in the basement all the time when I was a kid. And he didn't know anything about sharpening and his saws and chisels and stuff. It's frustrating, He was fun. My God, he made stuff. He rebuilt the houses we were in. He built a little boat, a little 12-foot rowboat, He built toys for us, this garage. He was a good guy. Okay, there we are. Sounds like the dungeon door closing. What is it? Grawlix. I knew there was a word for this. I'll never remember. I'm looking for the Japanese term. Give me a break. Is there a Japanese? I don't know. No idea. That's past my pay grade. No idea. Given that Japanese are big on manga and stuff, there probably is terms for those kind of things here, I guess. No idea. Okay, which one first? The blacksmith or the warrior? Which way should I go? Who's going to give me the first suggestion? Which face should I carve first? Who's the fastest typist? Blacksmith or warrior? Tick, 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 tick. Blacksmith. Okay, blacksmith it is. Sorry. Fastest in. Saying left one has no meaning because this is a woodblock print block. Which one is the left one? In real life, the warrior's on the left, but on the block, the blacksmith's on the left. Anyway, blacksmith wins, right? Did I get it wrong? What did it say? Left on blacksmith, hi. Oh, sharp. Left one. That's really helpful. Excuse me, sorry. I mentioned yesterday that the owl orders are overtaking us again, and I really should have been printing this morning, actually. This is what I should be doing, but I forgot. I didn't forget. I got just blown out by the shop yesterday. I was supposed to get the paper moistened and ready yesterday. Because you can't just sit down with a stack of paper and start printing. The paper's got to be moistened. Cut the size, of course, and moistened and everything the day before. And I just wasn't able to fit that in yesterday, so there's no printing this morning. So we're now in the same situation 24 hours later. I've got to get a batch of owls done. So I've got to get some paper ready today. We're still ahead of the orders. There's no people waiting right now. Everything's been shipped. Or everything is being shipped as the orders come in. But we can see where this is going, and I need another batch. So tomorrow, almost certainly, unless I get overwhelmed again today, tomorrow's stream, Monday morning, Tokyo time, will be printing the background color on the owls, which you've seen before, and again and again and again. Actually, this time what I'll be doing is I'll be taking the print to completion. I'll be doing the whole batch myself for these. Before I did the background color, then passed it over to Ayumi-san, the girl who's going to be leaving soon because she's pregnant. She's just doing really, really light jobs now. Her baby's due in April, so she's starting to show, so she's really cutting back on the work now. But she's now switched to doing copies of our New Year's card, which we're getting ready because we have to send a ton of those to the Patreons at New Year's time. You saw me carve that a few days ago. She's now printing that. Kawai-san's printing a batch of it. Suga-san's printing another batch. So all the staff is taking turns doing batches of the New Year's card. So it leaves nobody for the owl job. So I'll be doing that. So some of my streams now for the next few days are probably going to be printing streams rather than carving streams. Which is too bad because this one still is a super priority. If I don't get this thing finished, we can't make the web page for it, can't make the promotion video, can't make anything. We're nearly December. I've got to open the subscription page for this. Carving for this should have been in October, printing through November. giving us a 1 month leeway ready for shipping in January. Because during the year, bit by bit by bit, everybody gets too late and we slip. And we're already slipping now before this series is even up and running. So what's happening with this right now is Kawasaki-san, our young girl in Kobe, she's already carving number 2. This is number 1, the January print. And she's already carving the February print. She doesn't go on camera, but she's doing the February print. And that hopefully will get us back on schedule. And she and I may have to double up one more time. I'll do 3 and she does 4, something like that. Oh, I should get back to the octopus, whatever. Question in the box there. What are you talking about computer programming? Where am I? Twitch questions. 1, 2 in there. Yeah, somebody's complaining about the background noise. I know at the moment, as we sit here, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't stop carving to go and do checking. I know. Fingernails. Why are my fingernails so long? Because they grow and I keep forgetting to cut them. I don't know. Ah, audio is fine now. Okay, I got you. Thank you. The fingernails. Yeah, so there's no real specific reason here for the carving. The fingernail here, most of the carvers do. Let me get to a place here. So we're supporting a knife. So the fingernail on this, in my middle finger, what's it called? I forget. Middle finger. This is kind of important because I need the support for the knife here. There's no other fingernails that are involved at all, and they're too long. I just don't cut them as often as I should cut them. I don't like hair grows and fingernails grow and they just get out of control. And I'm just not good at that kind of stuff, Whatever, embarrassing, whatever, when I was married, what is that, 25 years ago? God, I've been divorced for 25 years, She sort of used to bug me about that sort of stuff and kept things under control, but since I've been living alone, it just kind of gets wild, I don't know. Here we are. This is really dangerous stuff, face. The tiniest, as we all know, the tiniest change in the shape of a line on a face can change an expression. And Jed and I wrestle about this all the time, the size of the prints, He draws them on this giant IMAX screen and gets it laid out. And then when he's doing brushwork, he blows them up like 400% or whatever it is onto a page. But we don't have any such license. And so this year, some of that stuff in the yokai series, we just lost it. The expressions were just too small, And yeah, I got a microscope, and yeah, we get very fine knives and stuff like that. But it's not so simple, you know. When this block gets to the printer, they're rubbing pigment on it, and if they rub the brush just a little bit this way or a little bit that way, or put just a little tiny bit too much pressure in, the lines get changed a little bit. They thicken up a bit, or there's a dot of pigment or somewhere. And the smaller you get, the more critical it gets. You know, in the old ukiyo-e prints, they didn't even try. They didn't even try. Just, you know, look at Hokusai's manga or something. It's just blobs for heads, or blobs for faces, and, you know, squiggles for the eyes and something. Expression and stuff didn't come from facial expressions. It came from the posture and the position and the context, you know. But in the modern world, we expect pictures to have facial expressions. It was never a part of the Japanese tradition at all. So Jed draws things, of course, expressively, sends them through for us to carve. And here I am now on this eyeball, and if I get this just the tiniest bit wrong, we've got a blacksmith who's frustrated here, but there's a certain level of frustration he's showing, and that's in the eyes and in the little thing below his nose, mouth, his eyebrows. It all adds up. And this is the most difficult part of my job, absolutely. And this year it's going to be critical, because these are all gags. They're all going to depend on, you know, just like this, you know. These two, this warrior who's ordered a sword, and the guy who's made him a beautiful sword, and you know this story. And if a blacksmith's expression was something smiling or whatever, it doesn't make any sense. So the printers have to watch each and every copy. This is why I save these faces for the end, you know. I carve, I print, I do programming, I got this and that going on. So I'm not in good shape. What's the word? You know, like athletes or anybody who works with their hands or does stuff, you know, you're in good shape or you're out of shape, you know. For me, in carving these days, these years, I'm always out of shape. So that's why I saved the faces for the last year. After a few days or a week or whatever of carving this thing, I think I'm okay for doing this, but Do you hear that stuff? That's upstairs. Upstairs meeting above the ceiling, the rats. I'm kind of nervous because I've heard the same sound now a few days in a row. They're playing with some kind of wire up there. This guy's got a good strong nose too. You can see him. This guy's a powerful man here. He's got a kind of a, what's the word? Not a Roman nose. There's a bump on the top of his nose. I don't know if I can catch it. No idea. You have to see when you get your finished print. Sometime in January. How well did I get this guy's nose? Like there's no stress. Nobody's watching, right? But this is softwood, you know. I don't know how long this is going to last, you know. Tony, the wood is too soft. I should be, any older carver would have looked at this piece of wood and just thrown it in the stove straight away. You expect me to carve that? What are you thinking about? What have you been smoking? It would have gone in the garbage right away. And here I am carving a key block. How are we doing over here? Rats, oh no. Plastic surgery for the nose, yeah. So the rats, I know it's a standoff at the moment. We don't need to go to the expense of sending them out. And anyway, we can't. I know we could hire an exterminator, but it wouldn't help us because the rats' access is down on the first floor, which we don't rent. It's not available for us. So the point where they are coming in and out of the building is under our sign out the front of the building, but in an area that we're not allowed to touch because it belongs to the guy who's on the first floor. So we can't actually do anything about this at the moment. And the situation is at a standoff. When we rebuilt this second floor 3 years ago, we built the walls and built the roof and sealed the thing up in such a way that the rats are where they are, up in the, what do you call it, above our ceiling, but inside the second floor. I don't know what you call that space, you know. If you imagine a modern office has got this hanging ceiling, but there's actually space above it, the rats are up in there. And they're there, they don't come out. And we've never seen rat droppings in the shop. They don't chew the food. We have no physical sign whatever that they're able to get into our shop area. So it's a standoff at the moment. if we were able to control the area of the first floor of this building, then at that time, this is a problem we're going to have to tackle. But at the moment, there's nothing we can do about it because we don't have access to the place where they're coming in and out. The girls on the staff were all like, Dave, do something. And I'm like, well, nothing I can do just yet. Anyway, they're not bothering us. And they say, how can you stand asleep here? And whatever. The rats are much more afraid of the people than the people are afraid of the rats. They're not going to come out and run all over me at night. So it sounds much worse than it is. I'm sorry, But yeah, in a building as old as this one, we're just a few yards from the sea, the Sumida River. This is a port city. And we're not that far from the water here. A very old part of town. So rats are, they're part of life here. This carving on the face or two, this is first pass. After I do test printing, we'll have a look at it. I can't add more wood, but I can shave off here and there. So any place here now where I'm sort of doubtful about what I'm doing, I just leave it a little bit proud. Knowing I can always shave it off later, but I can't put it back later easily. So the rat space is isolated from our space. There's nothing up there. There's no prints. There's no blocks. There's no nothing. It's between the roof and the ceiling. Does that make any sense? Oh no, it's the building is a concrete building, so it's a 3-story building. So there's 4 concrete slabs. Concrete slab at the bottom, then above the first floor, between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, and between 3 and outside. So it's 4 concrete slabs. And I'm in the 2nd floor, so I'm between 2 of the concrete slabs, and there's a space below my feet because the wooden flooring has a space below it. And then my ceiling, which is a decorative ceiling, has a space above it. So there's those 2 zones on every one of the 3 floors of the building. Now we have their space and they have their space, and so this curve here, I was curious what that is. I was asking you the other day. I guess it's an earring, I suppose. This is the new world I live in too. I know a guy in my generation, I grew up in the 50s and 60s. So the idea of blacksmiths was an earring was just a what? But now having this shop here every day, literally every day, people from all over the world with all kinds of decorations and stuff that I never, knew or dreamed of. Like it's been 30 years now since I lived in North America. I moved here in 1985, 1986. So 30 odd years since I lived in North America. And when I lived there, males having decorations and earrings and stuff was not a thing, of course. Different world. But now every day I see this, so I'm used to it now, but it's still it's a new normal, of course. Here we go. He has an earring, I think. If that's what it is, I guess that's what it is. Alright, let's try the other eye. This one's a bit more difficult. This is about the limit of being able to catch expression, this size. If he goes much smaller than this, we're just reduced to blobs. That's one thing I'm nervous about this year's series. He's given us 2 characters on this print. Okay, that's fine. But if there's 3 or 4 or 5, How are we doing for time here? Must be pretty much almost time for the staff to come in, I think. It's Sunday, so Cameron's not here, of course. And today it's, who's in? It's Kawai-san and Nakamura-san. And depending on how the shop goes, Nakamura-san's assignment today is going to be flea market. And I've been totally, absolutely negligent in the flea market section of our shop here. We call it a flea market. It's older prints, not prints we make here, it's prints we buy and sell. Estate sales, auction sales, dealer auctions, stuff like that. Meiji era, some Edo, mostly Meiji era prints. Some middle 20th century reproductions, stuff like that. We've got quite a good selection of them now, but I've been totally deficient on getting them online. And we weren't really excited about putting too much online, because when there's only one of each one, the trouble of scanning them, describing them, making sure the defects are all described. You're going to make a whole web page and stuff just for one print, and then it sells and bang, that's it. You can't use the same data again. For the prints we publish, we just make one web page and it's okay. I've been working on our CMS system, and I've got it built a little better now so that we can, if she scans it in, types a quick description, we can get a web page up and running in a few minutes just for one print. So I've been improving that in the background. So now I'm going to give this to Nakamura-san today so she can hopefully today scan a bunch of these prints in. She can use the CMS to get them up and ready in a pending situation. I come in and type the last few lines of descriptions, stuff that she doesn't know how to describe them. And then bang, click the button and online they go. So if we get some time for that today, if there's not too many people coming up the stairs to bother us, can I use that word, bother us? Then by the end of the day we should have a bunch more stuff in the flea market section of our shop online. So I'm going to try and keep on top of it, or not. I'm not going to try and keep on top of it. I'm going to try and have her stay on top of it. So once a week she can upload a bunch more. We got a bunch of interesting stuff last week. A bunch of reproductions, Goyo, Hashiguchi Goyo prints, about 2 dozen of them. I've got to get those up on the website. Oh, here we go. This must be Kawai-san or Nakamura-san. Good cut. Up and down the stairs, they put the flag out, the poster out. Try and decide if it's going to be a rainy day. We have 2 posters, one for a sunny day and one for a rainy day. The sunny day poster has pamphlets that hang outside, but the rainy day poster doesn't have those, of course. I think it's Nakamura-san. No, hard to tell from the footsteps. Kawai-san, too heavy. Kawai-san, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Ready for a busy day? Who knows? One party only reservations, but who knows what it's going to be like. So, say hello to the stream here. Where are we? WordPress, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. We have our own CMS that we wrote here. It's efficient, it's cool, it's robot free. I mean bot free, nothing. The vibrato in the doorbell is because the battery's dying. So,
泉作案って。
あ、そう。ジャコツユの手前にあるギャロ、彼女が今、知ってますか？
知らないです。
マクドナルドの建物の裏、小さなギャラあります。昨日私、ローソンにいる間に、隣の、なんていうの、ATM で、この社長が、ボルさんでしょうか？はい。じゃあ、ちょっとお願いしますか。
もしかしたらコラボ他が作ってる？
No、もう現代のものですけども、僕興味ない。
なんかこれなんか日本風の浮世絵風のやつを描いてるのかなと思ったんですけど、そんなことないんだ。
あんまり興味ないですが、でも彼が本当に前宣伝出したんですから、ボスさん忙しいかもしれないですが、ちょっと、いいよ。今展示中ですね。そう。綺麗なところ、現代アートね、値段、はがきとか何万円で。でもお昼買うときにどうぞ行ってみてください。ジャコツユの入り口、マクドナルドの裏かな。1年前ぐらいに新しいギャラが出たんですね。
ギャラリーの名前ってあれですか？
ゲン何あれは彼女の名詞ですから。
彼女は働いてる人。
いや、今週の展示会は彼女の作品ですね。だから彼女に名刺交換したんですが。
そっか、ギャラリーだから毎回変わるんだ。
そう。ギャラリー、彼の名刺ももらったんですが、ちょっとどこ行っちゃった？入ってなかった？そう。ギャラリーの名刺もありますから。これ。
ラブメビウス。ラブメビウス。
何？
株式会社の名前が。
はい。ギャラリーは何？なんとか忘れちゃった。
柴田広。
売る道ですから誰も入らないですね。
タマアート。東京浅草ギャラリー。
ゲイ、そうか。
ゲイってなんだ？あっちのゲイかな。あっちのゲイか。日本のゲイで言うとあっちのゲイ。芸人のゲイ。
Alright, just finish off this hat and then I gotta go, guys. It's a 10 o'clock party. I've got to introduce. Get some coffee. So what's the schedule? Today is Sunday here. Monday morning stream will, as you heard, it'll either be, if I do have time to make the paper properly moistened today, tomorrow's stream should be printing owl backgrounds upstairs. If I just don't get that part of it together, then tomorrow's stream will be finishing this one, the warrior's face. That'll be Monday morning, Tokyo time. As usual, what will happen in the shop today, it's anybody's guess. Where they're coming from, who will come up the stairs. Yesterday was fun. There was 3 guys came from Denmark. Just at the same time, there was 3 people from who are living here, Americans who live here. One guy's a researcher, he's studying whatever, comparative religions or something like this. And it became an audience. We started talking about this and talking about that and showing these prints and showing that prints and this and that. It just became, as usual, I probably talked too much or something. I don't know. So. Then I go out for a short errand to do some printing at the local print shop, printing the Hansta for the patterns for one of the prints. I get back and they're gone, and there's like, they took 10 prints with them. Where's Nakamura-san? Nakamura-san, good morning, good morning. Today, let's not fail. Let's do some flea market stuff today, the show. I keep saying so, and then I don't. The mess slide, we got to clean up well ready for you. But so you don't let me forget. Let's make it your responsibility. Don't forget to remind me to remind you to do this. So, sorry about that. The reason we got some new stuff this week. Some beautiful. Shinhanga Bijinga, Hashiguchi Goyo, and stuff like that. A new batch. And we got to get them online. So let's hope that nobody comes in the door. Well, no, I can't say that. If nobody comes in the door, let's do this today. So. Okay, here we are. Let's do this. Just finish off now. It's a Grolix, right? I'm going to try and remember that word for next time. Finish off the Grolix. His face not quite done. I missed the ear. Whatever. No time for it now. I don't want to rush that because I know exactly what will happen if I try and rush it. There he is. Okay. Thanks again, gang. I have no idea. I've caught some of this chat. Some of it I missed. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, this is Sunday morning. I'll be back here tomorrow morning with either more carving or printing some owl backgrounds. Doesn't that sound like wonderful work? See you tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye for now. Step 1, camera off. Step 2, unplug the mic. There is no step 2 today because the mic is borked. Okay, guys. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.